Pretty much ever since the British TD tree got put into the test server, I've wanted a tortoise. The 183 is an added bonus, but I really wanted a tortoise. And it's only just now that I've managed to pick up an AT2, mostly because I was busy grinding other lines and didn't really feel like grinding British TDs. But anyway, I did pick up an AT2, threw some equipment on it, threw a crew in there, and took it out for a spin. It's a strange little thing. So you can see I loaded an APCR first, partly because I'm in a tier 6 match, partly because the 6 pound is a good gun, but I don't trust it. I decide to head down west, because that's where big, slow, heavily armoured TD should be. The AT2 is completely blind. It has about 310 view range, which is absolutely pathetic. Pretty much the only... In fact, I can't even think of anything with a worse view range at tier 5 and up. I know the Hetz's is 280, which is pretty shocking, but the Hetz is a full tier lower, and is also able to account for it better with better camo and better mobility. So basically, in this thing you need somebody else spotting for you, because you won't be able to spot your own targets, even if you throw binoculars and optics and all sorts of, well, not and, or, if you put binocs or optics on it, you're still not going to really be able to see your own targets. In TDs, you shouldn't usually be spotting your own targets, you should be letting someone else do the work, but in some situations you do end up needing to do it, and in those situations the AT2 is fucked. So, slowly moving down here. I don't have 6th Sense on this crew yet, it's a new crew. 6th Sense isn't really hugely mandatory until you get to about tier 7, tier 8, but it's just nice to have. And this crew will probably eventually go into the tortoise when I get it. So you can see that was a auto aim shot there. Didn't expect it to hit, I just wanted to put a shell over his head to make him run away. That is the enemy team's best player, in fact their only good player. So here I start taking hits. Wolverine, Matilda. Yep, that's to be expected. There's people down the other end of 2-line. What a surprise. My platoon mates have fanned out to the east of the map, with Marius on top of the hill in his T-34 and Carinus following up in his KV. So I'm calling for somebody to move up and scout, but nobody's doing it. The T-28 behind me is hiding for dear life. The M10s are also hiding as far back as they can possibly sit. At least they are within render distance of the enemy. So that Electo is being a problem. He keeps popping up in middle and spotting. He's actually playing the role of a light tank for the enemy team, since they don't have one after the Crusader died. Tilda rolls out of camo, which is a mistake on his part, and here I start taking hits from everything. Driving an AT2 is like throwing an entire cutlery drawer into the garbage disposal. It's fucking ridiculous as top tier. I mean, if you're in a tier 7 match, people punch through your armor like it's not there, but in a tier 5 match, especially against bads who don't know how to aim, like these guys, it's just amazing how many shots you'll bounce. So I decide, since they're not very good at aiming, I'll push down a little further and see if I can spot them myself. I'm going to have to, because the T-28 died and the 2 M10s are determined to hide in back and do nothing all game. So we lose Marius up on top of the hill. Carinus is still okay. And, oh, hello M10. He gets cleaned up by our Wolverines. And here I'm taking hits from everything. The enemy Su-85, when he said he had them HE rounds at the start of the game, I thought he was joking, but no, he is in fact HE derping in an Su-85. This is an important detail in a minute. You'll see why. Anyway, so while I'm taking ridiculous amounts of hits and most of them are bouncing off harmlessly, it's not a good place to be, and eventually somebody will fuck me up, so I decide to back out. They do still have an M37 active, so that's another thing I want to avoid. Churchill's spamming what looks like 75mm APCR at me. It might be 6-pounder, but I think it's 75. And he's bouncing every shot. He penned once, and then every shot after that I think was a bounce. Or maybe there was one pen, but... So, SU-100's taken out. We've got a big cluster of tanks around the middle of the map there from our team. Looks like we got control of the hill. And I'm busy typing when I notice this guy rolling up on me. It's the SU-85. The enemy team's token Newfie. Not shooting a very smart place there. I'm hitting his side at a really bad angle. So I switched my aim about 6 inches to the right and was hitting his front plate with a better angle. And that's why I'm there. So you can see the M37's now in my case, which is not good, because he can just shell spam me to death basically. It's not like an FV304, but it's the same kind of theory, just spit out shells all game, every game. So, with the biggest threats dealt with, on the east flank, I decided to start pushing a little on the west. Here comes the complaints from the enemy SU-85, right as a KV-1S appears. I was worried here, but he appears to actually... No, he does have the 122. 13-second reload, that's a 122. I thought he must have had the 85 because he didn't manage to pen me, but he was just really bad at aiming. So here we go, HE works best against AT2s according to our KV2. Well, of course, he's driving a fucking KV2. HE works against everything with that tank. And then the SU-85 says, I bounced 7 of him HE rounds. Fucking Newfies can't speak apparently. He fired HE at me 7 times. He did 1 damaging shot, I think, maybe 2 damaging shots. So with the KV-1S dealt with, I just drive straight for the enemy base. You'll notice the Electo just died right at the end there. He was alive all game, squatting and shooting. Interesting play there, using a small fast TD as a light tank. So as I push towards the enemy base, I start watching chat a bit more intently. AT2 is an unfair advantage in the game. You heard it here first, folks. AT2s are unfair. This guy is driving an SU-85. The SU-85 can absolutely slam dunk any tier 5. I mean, it doesn't have the 107 anymore. It was hideously overpowered when it did. But, yeah, it is. Nothing can pen it. Okay. He was using the 122 Derp with HE, I'm pretty sure. If he was using the 85, his HE wouldn't have even really tickled me. So... he's using the SU-85, which gets really good, powerful 85mm guns, with a derp gun, shooting HE, not heat, at the front part of my tank, not at the cupola. And then he's complaining that he can't pen me, and that the AT2 is an unfair advantage. Well, okay. But yeah, that was 31 hits received, by the way, and only 8 did anything. 4 actually did damage, and 4 were splashes or something, I think. Or actually, I might even have the numbers wrong. I know I was hit 31 times, and I just can't remember exactly how many were counted as penning shots, because you've got to remember tracks and external module damage as penning shots. So I think there were like 4 0 damage tracks, and then 4 actual damaging shots. So, it was a fun little introduction to the AT2.